Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anna and in today's video I'll be showing you the step-to-step guide on how to create your first UX design case study. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. But first, what is a UX design case study? A UX design case study is a detailed documentation of your design process from the problem to the design solutions for that particular problem. This shows hiring managers and recruiters your problem solving skills, your design process, and your design skills as well to give them an overview on how you approach problem, how you solve create solutions for problems. Okay, so how do you structure a case study? There is no fixed structure for a case study. Like I said, a case study is a detailed documentation of how you solve a problem, and that is the approach to solving problem A will definitely be different from approach to solving problem B. But there are certain things that your case study should have that shows hiring manager and prospect client that you are an asset for them to have on their team. You are the person for the job. So let's go and let me explain everything you should have on your case study and how to create your first Behance case study.
Okay, like I said, I'm going to show a case study and explain things that your case study should have regardless of your design process. So the first one is the case study title, the project title page. So this is the page where you have the brand name. It will be like, even for personal, this is actually a personal project now. So that's why I'm showing this for beginners who are just starting out and creating their first personal project. And you're like, oh, is it going to be different? It's the same if you're working for someone as well. The name, the logo of the company, the name of the company or the product, then what is the title? For me, I said improving one-on-one learning experience, right? You could be like doing something like maybe like making it more easier for people to save money or anything like that. So it could be anything. Or you can even like just write Git, a financial app that help people save money. You get very simple and very easy to understand. It's just like a title that gives people an idea of what your project is about. Then a few screens, right? You can add patterns if you want to. This is actually optional. Then you have to make mention of your role. You have to like your role, the duration of the project, the platform you design for, if it is a mobile app or a web application or even a landing page. You just write that. Your role as a product design. So in here I even wrote my role as a product design and the dates too, like the particular month. So this is like July 2023. So that means when somebody seeing this as at maybe July 2030, they know, oh, this person's work as at July 2023, and they already have an overview that my skills has already improved and I'm doing better than this. Do you get it? So that's like the first one. Then the second section is the project overview. So it is basically what is the project about? What is the project? So for me, I was like, what is Git? And I was like, Git is an educational technology product designed to help people find the professional help or guide they need on anything, anywhere, at any time, right? So it's like every other detail. So your project, you just want to say what the project is. You don't have to use what is Git. You could be like project overview and you just quiet about what the project is all about, right? So what the project is all about is not really a problem statement, like it's just what it is. That's like project overview. Then the next one is why Git. Why Git is like a project, it's like a problem statement, right? So in there you can have problem statements and you just write, oh, with the rise of this. I explain the reason why that is actually a problem because there has to be a problem that you're trying to solve. So this is me explaining this is the problem I'm trying to solve, and yeah, which is why are we even doing this in the first place? So yeah, that's this for like why Git, and I wrote a lot of things. If you can notice, I have a particular pattern that I present because you want it to be visually appealing, right? So I have a circle and I have another circle, which was only the stroke, and it was like a dashed stroke, right? So and I have my screens on them while I'm actually presenting. So the project title is important, the project overview is important, your problem statement is important, regardless of your design process. We haven't even gotten to that. So regardless of your design process, these are very, very important. Then the next one is my design process, right? So my design process for this is primary research, competitive audit, UX design, and UI designs and prototyping. If you look closely, right, this is not like the same design process as every other person out there, right? So my own design process, I had it, this is my own design process, and I explain everything I did at each stages of the design process. At my user primary research, this is what I did, 8 participants and this. Competitive audit, this is what I did. For UX design, this is what I did. When it comes to the UI design and prototyping, this is what and what I did. Just a little overview, just explaining the design process. Then I went straight to the user pain points, right? So now, I'll explain my design process. Now I'm going right in to my user pain point. So I wrote like my user pain point, and this it's just like the first stage is like, if you can see from my designs, from my process, I said primary research. So now this is me going into details about what primary research is that I did. So I made mention of the user pain point that I'm trying to solve for, and the user pain point is basically based on my research. And I wrote on that, right, I did like my research findings, the interview, this is what I got from the interview. The competitive audit, this is what I got. Competitive audit is actually a research as well, it's part of like the research. Why the interview is a primary research, competitive audit is not a primary research. So which is why I had them as different thing on the design process. So in here, I just went in with, this is my research findings for the two research that I did. Then I went to who am I designing for? So you can see like I've addressed the problem, the design process, the user pain point. You should always have that. That's very, very important, because user pain point is, this is the problem. This is something that your product is going to be different. This is what exactly that product is going to address. And at the end, at the solution, your solution should definitely address this. So then I went to competitive audits. Then who am I designing for? This is the user personnel. Who exactly I'm designing for? The truth is, no product is at first designed for everybody. There is a group of people, a age bracket you're designing for. Sometimes the location based that you're designing for, a career, personal career you're designing for, and goals of those people you're designing for and their frustration. So in here, I have two user personnel. It is not necessary you have to. Sometimes some products is just one. It's so niche down to just one that you can just use like one user personnel. So I will explain the reason I have to in here. This product is for both people who have like 9 to 5 jobs and career, like a product designer, an accountant, all that, and it cater for the new digital skill set, so like content creators, YouTubers, and all that. So their needs are basically different. Their frustrations and their goals are totally different. So this is why I have two of them. If my product is only going to cater for a particular set of people, let's just say accountants, actually, I'm just going to have one case study that shows the goals, the needs, the frustrations of accountants, right? The age bracket of people that I'm designing for, their job, their location. So yeah, and that's it for the user personnel. Then I have a user story, right? A user story for a case study is not compulsory. If you have a user story during your design process, please include it. If you don't have to. So for me, I'm actually like still based on the research parts. I'm still like, oh, as a user, this is what my user is trying to get. This is still based on the research, right? So as a user, like for I want to access verified experience, professional to provide guidance and clarity, right? And some people, I want to be able to ask follow-up questions after a mentorship section. These are the things the users doing the research about that they actually need. So I wrote those user research. Then now, I don't know what the user research is. I've already done everything. I went to the user flow. Please, if you're working on a web application, a mobile app, always include the user flow. Always include the user flow. This is like the skeleton on which your fine and clean UI designs are built on. Yeah? And the user flow shows how the user moves from this stage A to stage B, and how your information is being structured for clarity. So please always include your user flow. Because basically, there's no way you definitely have a user flow. It might not be digital, it might actually be on a paper and pen. So you can even take a picture of that and just use it instead of having this. If it is very clear, or just create the digital parts and add it as your user flow. Please always have a user flow. Then, what's the solution, right? So I already said, oh, this is the solution. This is the solution I came up with, right? And in there, because I actually did the branding for this product, so I wrote like I have the logo in here, and I wrote like what the logo actually means and all that. And in here, I actually even have a like a drop of knowledge needed for your growth, and that was like the tagline for the products. Like I said, this is a personal project, right? So then I went to sketching. So we are already at the ideation process. This is my solution. Now I've already come up with ideas of what my solution is, and I went right into sketching. So sketching, is it compulsory? No, you don't have a sketching, you have to include it. If you do not do it, you have to include it. But if you do, just take a picture. And this is why it is very important to document during the UX design process, so that when you are writing your case study, you can just go somewhere, just pick those things you actually wrote down, the challenges and everything, and just put it in your case study to show the process. So sketching, you can see that after sketching, I went to brand and style guide. I do not have a low fidelity. I do not have a low fidelity screens. Digital, like, that's basically like digital wireframes, right? I do not have that. I do not have low fidelity prototypes. I do not have that. I do not have user testing. I do not have that because I do not do that during the process. So I do not include them. which is why I'm going to show you another case study that has that and show you like the difference between the two. Then the next one is the brand and style guide. So I chose, like I made mention, because I made the brand, so I chose like the brand color, show the brand color and the logo, as well as the concept for the logo too. I actually write the concept behind the logo is to show how important a drop of knowledge is to growth, and everyone needs a drop of knowledge to keep going, and that's just it. And I'm just showed my UI colors, my typeface that I used, and that's all. Now for the branding, right? This is not all you should have. If it is your first project, I would advise you go as more detail as showing your type scale. This is like different sizes of fonts that you use, as well as their letter spacing and line height, right? Show those details. This shows hiring manager that even though this is your first case study, you are the right person for the job, right? It might be just that one thing that somebody wants to say. Show your button styles, show your different button states, the tertiary, the primary, when it is clicked, when it is on overstate for actually web applications, right? Because you don't have overstate on mobile. So when it is clicked and when it is inactive, all those states please show them. Show your error, show your form, what is it called, components, when it is by default, when it is disabled, when the user is actually typing, which means it is in focus or active, right? Show all those different states. You can as well show like some components, some cards and all that. You can as well show like your navigations and all that. So like when it comes to your UI sections, please just go into details with it. So I'll show you an example of something like that as well. So the next thing after this was I was just showing the final screen. So what I did was just sketching. I went to the final screen directly, and that's what I did here. So I just had like my onboarding screen showed. Then the next, I don't know if you noticed, because I made mention like this design is for both mobile and web. So your project can just be only mobile, yeah. So you just show the mobile only, and if it is mobile and web, like mine, you show mobile and web, and if it is web only, you show what, web only. So now for in here, you can see the first one is mobile, and I made mention of that. The next picture I wanted to show, I showed that using the web. So it's like a mixture of both. Like, I'm not emphasizing on a particular platform over the other. So it is mobile web. So then I'm just like, no, another thing you notice is I actually have like things that are basically different on there. I actually put like attention to them. So you can do that like this. And with the connections, web as well, there is schedule. These are like the most important parts of the app that I want to show, right? And I did that. And after I was like other screens, web, right? And I show other web screens that I have. Then I will show other screens for the mobile that are designs. Actually, I have them here. And finally, right after showing the whole project, I want to say, oh, this is what I learned on the design. So I just wrote out, this is what I learned. And the last thing I added was like, oh, I would like to hear your thoughts on this project. Drop a comment or DM me for conversations of design. And if you'd like to hire me or work with me on the project, reach out to me via my email, right? So this is like, you give it like an easy access for recruiters and hiring managers to reach out to you, right? And prospect clients as well to reach out to you now. So I'll show us my first case study now and how that is basically different from my recent case study. So this is 2020 January to March project. So you can see I have like the project title as well, the mobile movie ticket app. It's just straight. And I was like, oh, this is a movie ticket app for users to book their movie tickets and select their preferred seats. And I have my screens. This is only mobile only. So in here, I did a project overview that explains this is the same thing as what is Git, right? So now what is this? I make mention of what the app is about. I make mention of my role. What are my responsibilities and what are the tools that I use? Yeah, this case study should show you that no two case study is always the same because your design process will always be different depending on your research and depending on what you can do at that time. And there are like some constraints, like time constraints, resources and all that you have to consider. So now the next thing is the problem and the goal. So this is like why. So why this particular, I made mention of it, and what is the goal for the project, right? And I made mention like this is the goal for the project. So after that, I have my design process, just like that. So I'm making mention of things that are very important, things that are important, the project title, then followed by the project overview. What is the project about? Then followed by the problem statement. The problem statement is very, very important. You should not miss it. Followed by the design process. I mean, for the other projects, I have primary research, motive audit as my design process. But in there, I have empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and testing, right? So the design process is very, very different. Very, very different. Then I went to my user research, right? This is what my user research is, and these are my user pain points. These are what I got, and I went right into my user pain points. So you can see your user research is very important. Regardless if it is an interview, a survey, or a competitive audit, to please include them. Just your user research is very, very important. So I did that in a made mention of the pain points that the products will be addressing. So this is very important too. Then followed by my user personals, right? And for this, I only have one because I'm only actually into people who are coming to the cinema to watch a movie and they just do not want to wait for so long and only to discover like the tickets has been sold out and all that. So saving them times and energy and just helping them plan their day better. So this is it. Just one case study. Then in here I have a user journey. So I have a user journey map that I did. So, but for the other projects, I do not have that. So I have this done. Then I have the user flow. So the user journey is not compulsory. It is not. If you actually did it during the design process, please include it. But if you don't, just let it. You don't have to include it, right? So the user flow, right? So this is user flow, like I said, default slash user flow. They are basically different, but in the way this is structured, it serves both purposes, right? So the user flow just shows this is how the app and this is how the information are actually arranged. So then after that, I did like the paper wireframes, and I did the low fidelity wireframe. So you can see everything I did was listed in here. Please do not be scared that oh your case study is too long. Just document it. Document it. So after this particular screen is my low fidelity prototype. So if you click on it, it's my low fidelity prototype that people can actually interact with. So it's actually loading Figma now. So it's my low fidelity prototype. And I actually have that's included there. I did usability testing. So if you look through everything that I listed, it is based on my design process, empathize, define, and I made mention of the user interview, user research, the personals, user journey map, the user story, the problem statements, then the ideate section. I went there to the ideate section. So right here, I did my low fidelity, then my usability testing. So I did a usability testing, then using like the low fidelity, and these are things that I actually realized. And I have an affinity diagram in here that shows everything that the user said when taking them and all their comments and all that. So after that, then I made changes to the design based on my usability study. So I showed that as well under the usability testing section. So I showed this, before, after. Then I went straight to the star guide, right? So I went to the star guide. So in there I showed the color palette, I showed the cypress. You can see the star guide, I don't have a logo because I did not create a logo for this project. I don't create a logo. I didn't do any brand for this project. I just showed the color palette and my components. So now I showed like the buttons that I have, the navigations that I designed. So I showed them. And the high fidelity design, which is like the final design, I just showed different things that I did and all the other screens and that's it. But like this is something I would have done different now. I would have bring attention to some parts of this design that I think is a great thing to show hiring managers and give them like my thought process on that and all that. So but I didn't do that. This is my first project. I was just starting out. So yeah. Then finally I actually included my high fidelity prototype 2 in here. Then at the end I showed that I know about, like I'm saying, this is my first project and it's a personal project, so I'm talking about like accessibility, I'm talking about like the contrast that I used, make sure like all my colors actually pass the accessibility contrast check. I did that. The icons that I use like universal known icons that everybody is familiar with and they understand. Then the use of images as well. Then what are my takeaways? Takeaways are basically my challenges. Like I have over there, I did my learnings, right? But in here I have my challenges that I had when creating the projects and my learnings. And in here, an extra point I did was I added like my next step. So is next step important? No. Do you want to include it? If you just want to include it, please do. So I include my next step, and after that, I think I just like thank you for watching. So what I would have done better in here is I would have actually add a way for people to contact me, because I actually get like a lot of people DM me on Twitter for this particular case studies, and I actually got like a job from this particular case study. So I think something I would have done better is just have my email, so I could just wake up and see an offering in my email box. So now I want to show you something. I want to double click this, and you can see this is actually an image. So these are actually images, different screens. You can see different screens. So each section is like a page, user personnel. So you can see each sections, user research, my design process, then the problem and goal, the project overview, then finally the project title, right? So you can see everything. So now the next thing I want to do is we're going to go into Figma, and I would show you how to actually create these designs on Figma. So on how to create design in Figma, I'm just showing you the design file for the case study I showed you on Behance, and this is it. A slide. This is the name of. So when you go to frame, you go under presentation and select slide 16:9. So 16.9, just use that. Use that. That's like the slide, the frame size that you're definitely going to use. And when you have that, you start creating your design. Another thing you can do is you can go to the Figma community and search for case study templates and just use them. They're usually in the size as well. Just use them, add your own color, your own title, your own text, and that's it. So it's just, you can see this like page by page. And after you're done with the design, all you have to do is just select all of them. Press the folder on your laptop, select everything, and export as PNG. Now you can see 3x, you get it? So that it's going to be more clear. And when you actually export the pictures, all you have to do is come here. So I'm going to cancel this, then come here on your profile, right, or anywhere on Behance. Click on share your work and click on build a complete case study, and just drop the pictures here one after the other, and you come to the style section. So let me just drop an image to make an example. Any image, let me say one of the designer I had recently. This there, so I'm just going to, let me just add this. Okay, I think I have this. So please, if you haven't watched this video, then I'm trying to add the image. So I had a video on 5 things I wish I knew and 5 questions to ask stakeholders. So they're actually like same size with that. So I'll just use this as an example. So I already add 2. You can see, so it's so easy to add. All you have to do is come here to styles. And the content spacing is the spacing between this and this. You can reduce it to 0. Then the background color, let's just say to F67E. This is just a random thing. So you can see I just changed it to pink and you actually change to pink. So you can, this is like the customization you can do. Then after that, I'll just click on continue. So this I also believe you've already added everything. So this is the reason why the first thing you should add is like the project title. So you can see the first one is in here, and you can edit the cover image as well. Your project title, give up to 10 tags. You choose, you use the category of the project, which is usually product design, web design, and UI UX design. So just have the 3, clear visibility for everyone. This project contains adult content now, unless you are creating like beta 18 kind of design, so you have to add this. Then you just click on publish. That's it. You can as well save as draft, right? You can save as draft, and when you save them as draft, what happens is it is still like it's going to be on this part of the Behance file. You have like your drafts. So I have like a lot of designs in my draft, and you can just edit them and publish them. So you can see this is already in draft, so I can decide to edit the project and publish it or delete it. So yeah. So I wish you success in creating your first UX design case study. And please do not forget to subscribe and share this with your friends who want to become a UI UX designer or are already in the journey. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.